Let's talk about the Oscar category pretty much nobody is familiar with, Best Documentary Short Subject. Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and today we are going to talk about the Best Documentary Short Subject category for the 95th Annual Academy Awards. Now, the documentary short subject category is exactly what it sounds like. These are documentary films that are short. They are 40 minutes or less, so they don't compete for the main feature category, but as a short, they can qualify. And as with any category, there's some hits, there's some misses, and it's a category that is usually not discussed very often. So let's actually give these documentary filmmakers their due, and let's actually talk about the movies that they made and give you brief little mini reviews for all of them. These will be done alphabetically, and I will have a pinned comment below on where you can find these at the time of this recording. And obviously all the links will go to legal sites, not illegal sites. So YouTube, just want you to be absolutely clear, these are legit ways that people can watch these shorts. The first short that we're going to talk about is called The Elephant Whispers. This is a Netflix short documentary, which means, well, you can stream it on Netflix after you are done watching this video. And this is by far the cutest of all 5 of the shorts. It's about a couple of people in Asia who are actually known as elephant caregivers. They raise abandoned or almost killed baby elephants, and they nurse them back to strength. They make them part of the tribe, and they prepare them for, living a full life in the village. Now, at 40 minutes, it's probably a little too long. Unfortunately, I've noticed with the documentary shorts, a lot of these 40-minute shorts can usually trim 10 to 15 minutes. This is one of those cases where it's like, yeah, maybe 40 minutes is too long. 30 would have probably been better. And it's not like there's a whole lot of things that are being said or done that are of true substance. But that being said, it is a super, super charming short. And you really love the caretakers. You get to know the elephants. You get to know their personalities. They definitely makes you appreciate what it is these people do. And it gives you real love for elephants. So I can't help but give The Elephant Whispers 4 out of 5 stars. It's easily one that I can recommend despite being a little long in the tooth. Another documentary short that has been nominated is called Haul Out. Now, this one I can confidently say is my least favorite of the 5 nominees that they made this year. It follows a man who goes to a cabin in this certain part of the world to witness walrus gatherings. And the walrus gatherings have been getting bigger and bigger because of global warming, because walruses need snow to rest on, and when there's less snow in the world, they start coming to places like this beach, which gets very snowy. And he's just noticed an uptick in walruses and walrus deaths, and he records them. Now, I understand why this is worthy of making a documentary of some sort on this. The guy who's doing this, definitely, he lives an interesting life. It's a very solitude existence. I don't even know if he makes money doing it, to be perfectly honest. But he clearly loves what he does, and he puts up with these really bad weather conditions, and he's very meticulous in his journal. And the walruses are a lot of fun to watch. The problem is, it's not that interesting to watch at the end of the day. I mean, you do watch him with his daily routine. He makes breakfast, he sleeps, he talks on the radio, and very little of it is actually engaging. We don't even really know what he personally thinks about the walruses themselves. Does he love walruses? Does he not love them? It's kind of hard to tell from this documentary, and this seemed like a 15 to 20 minute warning more than a 40-minute short subject. I mean, this one was just a slog to sit through. I have to give it 2 stars. The only reason it's getting the 2 stars is because there is a dire warning at the end that is certainly worth heeding, but I don't think the documentary itself deals too much with that warning, and as a result, this is just not very interesting to watch. The third documentary in these 5 documentary shorts that have been nominated is called How Do You Measure a Year? And this was actually kind of interesting to watch. I had to actually text my friend after I saw this video and say, hey, you could have been an Oscar-nominated documentary filmmaker, because what my friend does is he has kids and he does one of those video captures of them every year. But the director of this film, I believe his name was Jay, took it a step further. He had a series of questions that he would ask his daughter every single year since the age that she was 2, and he does this all the way up until when she's 18. And you can see how her answers on certain questions change over the years. You can see certain time periods, how this time period she's a lot happier and carefree, and then this time period she's a lot more depressed. She's questioning her role in the world, things like that. And the thing is, I think a lot of parents do things like this. They take a picture every year, or they do something like this. But this guy actually decided to film this footage. He didn't watch it again until after they had finished the project. And when she turned 18 and went to college, he went in, he edited it into this 30-minute short. And it's very, very fascinating. I mean, early on, it's predictable. The girl doesn't know what power really means. She's much more scared of dragons and witches than she is of kids at school. And it's a fascinating look at how she just changes over the years. It's not exactly an original concept, I would say, because, we saw the movie Boyhood, we see people do this, but nevertheless, it is fascinating to watch, and her answers and wildly different mood swings depending on the year that she's actually doing this with her dad is very, very interesting. So I give this one 4 out of 5 stars. The fourth short on this list of nominees is actually another Netflix film called The Martha Mitchell Effect. And for those of you who are not aware of who Martha Mitchell was, she was the wife of John Mitchell, who was an advisory to President Nixon. And John Mitchell played a huge role in the Watergate scandal. And in fact, Martha may have even been playing a bigger role into revealing the scandal than initially thought. In fact, there is a term out there called the Martha Mitchell effect. And what that is, doctors coin it for something when someone says something that seems to not be true, but later on it turns out it is true. And Martha Mitchell was one of these people who was at the ground floor of the Watergate scandal and may have been very instrumental in bringing it to light. In fact, President Nixon even said that if it was not for Martha Mitchell, Watergate would have never been a scandal. And this is obviously the most polished of all the shorts. It's got the biggest editing. It's got the highest players. I think even Barry Levinson is one of the producers. Can I just look at that? I mean, I remember seeing his name somewhere. Oh, Beth Levinson. I'm sorry. So it's not Barry Levinson. But the bottom line is it has a lot of class editing. I would not be surprised if this actually won the Oscar for Best Documentary Short Subject. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. But I do think there's one short that's a little better. And the final short that was nominated on this list was Stranger at the Gate. And I think this one actually probably has the most profound thing to say. And it's kind of disappointing that I've been sharing this short with people, and based on their own, religious beliefs, they're already taking it way out of context. But Stranger at the Gate follows a man who would have been a mass murderer. He served a couple tours in, I think, Iraq or Iran with the Marines. He came home. He was a broken man. And he moves to a town where there is a Muslim mosque, or one of those places of worship that Muslims go. And he is offended that they are moving into town, and he makes a plan to bomb their building and kill 200 or more of these people. But he has to scope the place out, and as he scopes it out, the people there actually invite him in, they become friends with him, and he completely changes his way. Now, I'm not going to give away what happens to Mac, as he's called in the movie. Needless to say, some people take issue with the path in life that he decided to take, even though I think most people would agree that it is a better path than what he was originally planning. But I think this short is especially timely because in the age of the Twitter wars and deep politicization, where we are making enemies out of people who disagree with us, here is a short that reminds us that, you don't even have to like someone. You can be suspicious of certain people, but if you take time to be kind to the people who least deserve to be kind, amazing things can happen. And I think it's a lesson we are more and more forgetting as we type away our complaints about video games on Twitter, and we make everyone who buys particular games or watches certain movies or eat at certain fast food places into evil people who clearly have insidious goals for why they make their purchases. And here is a little short documentary. This one really could have been like a feature-length film, in my opinion. And it's showing a guy who decided he was going to do something. It was something very wrong that he was going to do. And because people were nice to him, he ended up coming to love the very people that he was intending to do harm to. So Stranger at the Gate gets 5 stars from me. But now that I've reviewed all 5 of the Oscar nominees, what is going to win and what is not going to win? Well, I can pretty confidently say that Haul Out is not going to win the Academy Award. No offense to the person who directed the short, but it is nowhere near interesting enough to win an Oscar. As for what's going to win, that's going to be a bit of a toss-up. The Marsha Mitchell Effect, I would give the edge because it definitely plays to the Academy's love for taking down conservative politicians, and it's a well-made film. And this is another one of those shorts that could have been a feature-length film, and I think it would have been just fine. I'm personally hoping that Stranger at the Gate does win, though, because it was kind of a surprise nominee according to people who are in the industry who didn't expect to get nominated, and I think the message is going to resonate with people, so look out for that as well to be a potential spoiler. Although it wouldn't be much of a spoiler to me, I think it would be a worthy win. And that's my review for all the documentary films. For the short subjects, I will post that pinned link below in the comment section about where you can watch these legally at the time of this recording. And tune in next week for my reviews of the live action and animated shorts. In the meantime, comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.